Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat for Career Mode. Today we start our full-time NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series career. I'm very excited for this opportunity. You're finally going to get to see the car that we are driving for this season. It is going to be on Stewart-Haas Racing, as that was a bit of a sneak peek in the last episode, being with SHR still in the Xfinity series. So we are actually going to be driving the number 41 car in the Xfinity series, in the Cup series. Obviously Daniel Suarez there in real life, but now we're going to be replacing him in the 41 car. We're acting like this is coming into the 2019 season in the Cup Series, so fresh off of the 2018 season, so a little bit of a change up there, but obviously trying to get used to this new team is the big goal here early on in the season. As you're seeing right now on your screen, a little bit of the off-season practice I was doing in the 41 car here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And the car felt pretty good for the most part. Obviously, not sure exactly what to expect at a plate track like Daytona, but come straight through here with a little bit of a media quote asking, I'm just saying, I've got a great opportunity. My goal is to win at least one race this season here in the Cup Series. We're going to have a little bit of these kind of interview type deals throughout this season. But now we come through to the Xfinity Series. We had subscriber Donovan Robinson in the car. Not a great qualifying effort, obviously. Plate tracks, it's so hard to qualify well, but either way, we had Donovan Robinson in the car, and he would move his way forwards a little bit throughout this race as he came through now towards the midway point, making some moves up the inside, actually making some contact there with some other drivers into turn 3, as he actually ran out of room, and he got just kind of pressured to the inside, but he couldn't go under the double yellow line, obviously, so he kind of roughed some drivers up there, and as he came through now on the final lap, heading down the back straightaway, Robinson down through turns 3 and turns 4, trying to get a top 20 finish. He was running right about 20th place at this point as he came through turns 3, and on the exit of turns 4 out of the final corner, there you see it might be Garrett Smithley or something leading the race, but it was going to be Donovan Robinson coming through to get P20 for us here in the Xfinity Series. So a solid result for Donovan Robinson. Now it's actually the winner was Stefan Light, so a surprise winner to say the least. But now the Xfinity Series race out of the way, I decided obviously this is going to be a special race. It's a 50% race here at Daytona since it's our first Daytona 500, so obviously a longer video than usual. Took quite a bit to edit as well. There, as you see some of my settings on your screen coming into this Daytona 500 weekend. But first, obviously, we had to get used to this brand new car, new team here with Stewart-Haas Racing. Well, not new team, but new for Cup Series. Obviously, we come in this season as a rookie. This was me in practice at this point as we were coming on to the track, and we would just kind of get it used to just running around with these Cup guys that have been around here for multiple seasons. There, as you see me running with Jamie McMurray. I believe that was the 3 of Austin Dillon up ahead there as we actually came through on the exit of turn 4 at this point. I was getting a quick practice for just entering the pit lane under green flag conditions, because we would likely will need to make a green flag pit stop, or maybe a few in this race, unless we don't get any cautions. And then now as we come through, after getting used to the car, we would come through into our first full-time Cup Series qualifying effort. Obviously, plate racing don't really expect much out of qualifying, or out of plate track, I should say, so we get on the track and get going early on here, and unfortunately we come through now on towards my fast lap out of turn 4. This is on lap 2. Lap 1 wasn't very good. The goal was a 45.0. Now as we come through, heading down towards the tri-oval, coming through to cross the line well over a 45.0. It's a 46.343, and we qualify dead last in P40. So certainly we got our work cut out for us here today in the Daytona 500. So the pole winner actually was Alex Bowman, so a Hendrick Motorsports driver on pole, shocker there. But now it's time to get right into the race with our custom little pre-show here today coming into Daytona. We have a rookie class here with Ryan Preece leading this field in the number 47 to 31 of Tyler Reddick, also battling it out for Rookie of the Year this season, along with myself, who's going to be involved there. You see the 36 of Matt Tiff coming up from the Xfinity Series as well, along with Tyler Reddick, obviously Ryan Preece, and then we have Daniel Hemrick as well in the number 8 car for RCR. He was very successful in Xfinity, couldn't quite get a win, and then we have ourselves, who got 6 wins in our rookie season in the Xfinity Series. Obviously didn't win a championship, but we're hoping that this could be a very successful rookie season in the Cup Series. And we have our defending champion as well, Joey Logano, looking to go back-to-back this season after winning his first Cup Series title last season. for Penske Racing at Homestead, Miami. So that's our little lead up coming into this race. So now we're going to send it over to Rick Allen.
We're live from Daytona International Speedway for today's running of the Great American Race. Another season of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup racing is about to get underway. The drivers are in their cars and the sold-out crowd is on their feet. It's time for NASCAR racing.
All right, we're ready to go green here for our first career Daytona 500 as we have Bubba Wallace, actually failed optical scanning station multiple times. He's starting at the back along with Ryan Truex, who had an engine change after qualifying, and Austin Dillon failed technical inspection, so he also will be starting at the back of the field now as we get ready to start our first ever Daytona 500. We gain a few positions due to those drivers being sent to the back now is ready to go green, and the green flag is up. The Daytona 500 is underway for the first time of our career behind the number 12 here of the Penske driver of Ryan Blaney. Around us, we've got a couple drivers in this rookie class. That's going to be a bit of a storyline this season. There you see Tyler Reddick battling it out with us on the outside for rookie of the season. Now we got Kevin Harvick, our Stewart Haas Racing teammate, just in front of us. Obviously, he is a one-time champion in this series back in 2014 when they first implemented the playoff system into the Cup Series. So you can look out for Harvick to be obviously a strong factor this season. Now as we head down this back straightaway behind Austin Dillon, making it 3 wide as we go down towards turn 3. Tyler Reddick had actually got down to that bottom lane as we ride behind him through this third and fourth turn, getting into the back of Reddick, just giving him a little bit of a bump and actually touching the apron, and that slows up my momentum quite significantly as we head down this front straightaway. Behind us is the 43 of Bubba Wallace as we come through to complete our first lap of the Daytona 500. Now down this front straightaway towards turns 1 and turn 2 for the second time. Alex Bowman started on pole, leads the opening lap here in the Daytona 500, looking like he definitely has a fast car. Hendrick Motorsports always fast when you come to plate races, so definitely Alex Bowman is going to be a driver to watch today here in Daytona, Florida. Sorry, now as we head down this back straightaway, Austin Dillon just in front of us as we go down towards turn 3, struggling right now to actually pull in the cars ahead, so that was a bit of a concern early on in this race, but I felt like if we just could get a few more cars behind us, we'd be in good shape. And sure enough, as we came through now on lap 3 at this point, still lap 3, P37 I should say, as we went down towards turn 3. So we gained a few positions, now passing our teammate Kevin Harvick as well. We have worked our way up to P28 as we came through now on the 8th lap at this point. So behind another teammate of ours, of Clint Boyer, as we go down towards turn 1, and we would just continue following Clint Boyer at this point here as we moved up into P28, still on lap 8, and as we came through to lap 11, now up to P22, just continuing to follow Boyer with our other teammate of Eric Almirola now on my outside at this point as we head down the back straightaway. So closing in on a top 20 position as we're going to give Boyer a shot to the bumper there as we go down towards turn 3. He looks to the inside of Ryan Newman in the number 6 car as we come through this third turn. Boyer is a draft partner. I'm going to try my best to remember to turn draft partners off when we're not at a big super speedway race. Now as we exit turn 4 up into P21 at this point, now as we came through on lap 12 out of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, still committed to just pushing my Stewart Haas Racing team into Clint Boyer as we came out of turn 4 on the same lap. Now there's smoke up ahead and a caution is actually going to come out, the first caution of the Daytona 500. Bowman still leads, but we would all come to pit road, and that would mean that a green flag pit stop would not happen in this first opening stage as we would get ready to go green here from P17 on the restart as the green flag is back out for our first restart of the Daytona 500, about halfway through the first stage currently as there's 14 laps to go in stage 1. 15 laps of fuel in the car, so I wasn't very concerned. I felt like that should be okay. Obviously, the fuel, we might lose a little bit extra considering the length of the track, but we should be okay to make it to the end here. And there you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just in front of us, the 37 of Chris Buescher on the outside, and Eric Jones on the far outside, that third lane, falling back quickly, so he obviously got hung out to dry, but Paul Menard actually lets Jones in as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3. Behind us it's the 8 of Daniel Hemrick pushing as we go through down into turn 3, actually about a car length or so between myself and him. Now as we come through this third corner on the inside of Chris Buescher as we exit turn 4. Bowman continues to lead the way as we look to the inside of the 24 of William Byron. He does not actually like us coming into the Cup Series as he was not, I guess, appreciative of me in the hot seat races that we did last season. I guess we got into him a few times that he was not a fan of, so certainly William coming into the season is actually angry with us now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 with a little bit of a bumper cam, as we're going to have just a quick crank it up here for this next half a lap. So I'm going to go quiet and let you guys hear the raw engine noise.
Outside. Got one outside now.
There was our first crank it up of the season. We continue to follow Jimmy Johnson through the order, now up inside the top 10 here within the last 10 laps of this first and opening stage of the Daytona 500. Now looking to the inside of Jimmy Johnson's teammate Alex Bowman, who got the pole for this race. Obviously, we will be having a few more crank it ups throughout the season. I want to make that at least once per episode, as well as we're going to have the quote-unquote helmet cam here and there that you'll just see with the cockpit cam. But we would continue following Jimmy Johnson through the field. We had moved up into P3 as we came to lap 25 of 29 here in this first stage. Stenhouse leading the way, so you got to be very careful when Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is leading a plate race. You never know what direction he's going to go or when he's going to take you up now as we head out of turn 2, down this back straightaway, pushing the 48 of Johnson, trying to get him in front of Stenhouse. Stenhouse goes way up to the top. Not sure exactly what he's doing. We have a bit of a run here. A chance for Johnson to look to the inside, but Stenhouse would cut us off now as we came through to 2 to go, approaching the white flag in this opening stage. Now as we came out of turn 4, the drivers behind us getting very aggressive with each other, and that created just a little bit of a 3-car breakaway as we come through the triangle, following Jimmy Johnson as he is a draft partner. He's committed to go where we go as we start this final lap in this opening stage. Stenhouse cuts the 48 off and holds on to that lead position now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. Stenhouse moves up the track just a little bit, leaving room for the 48 on the inside as we exit turn 2. Stenhouse decides to stay high, not sure what that is about at all, and we're going to just stick with the 48 as Stenhouse tries to come down, but it's not in time as the 48 looks to the inside, and we're going to follow through as we go through turns 3 and turns 4. Jimmy Johnson to the point here in Daytona as we're going to push him through as we now take over second place from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we exit turn 4. Johnson creates enough of a gap. We're not going to be able to get to him in this first stage on the final lap as Jimmy Johnson will come through to win the opening stage here of the Daytona 500 and pick up a playoff point. A great result there for the 48 and a great result for us here in this opening stage. The best of the Stewart-Haas drivers actually, as we would come to pit road to take 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. That's all we would need. We would actually come out in front of Jimmy Johnson. So we're leading to the start of the second stage here now as we are underway for stage 2 in the first time in our Cup Series career. We are leading. Obviously, we never led the races in the hot seats. We got up, I think, 3rd was the best we could do, and that was at Darlington. That's how we got a 5-star hot seat. Not a good restart at all for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Behind us, we got the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., about a quarter or so of car length behind. It's very close indeed now as we come through turns 1 and at turns 2. A terrible restart for that 48 of Jimmy Johnson. He's going to have to battle back on this back straightaway. Behind us, you can see Denny Hamlin making the move. Stenhouse sticks with me, but we're going to leave him out now because Hamlin has such a big run that we're going to get up in front of the 11 of Denny Hamlin as we go down towards turn 3. Hamlin gets clear of the 17, so we both drop down in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now Hamlin occupies that second position. Our Stewart-Haas Racing teammate of Eric Almirola now leads the outside lane in front of Jimmy Johnson. So Johnson just drifting back on this opening restart here of the second stage in the Daytona 500. Now Stenhouse has a big run on the outside, so we're going to follow through and move up the hill to protect Stenhouse. And now Hamlin gets a big push from the 12 of Brian Blaney. And Blaney pushes Hamlin to the front now. In the Daytona 500, we lose a lot of ground on this outside lane as we come through turns 1 and turn 2. So I decided to pick up my teammate of Eric Almirola as we go down this back straightaway. We would continue up on this top lane and actually drift down so to P6 at this point. Hamlin had been trying to hold on to that lead. He had actually moved up to the top there, as you can see me getting into the back of the 66 of Gase, but me and Almirola kind of got disconnected from each other now as it came through on lap 4 of the stage. Almirola had gotten back though. We had drifted down to P9. Almirola on my inside. At this point we're pushing Kyle Busch now as we go down towards turns 1, but there's trouble behind, and it's the 48 of Jimmy Johnson who goes spinning into the outside while collecting a couple other cars, but no one really gets severe severely involved, but Jimmy Johnson, an early exit here in the Daytona 500 after a spin down into turns 1, and that first caution in that opening stage was actually due to Ty Dillon, but we would not need to make a pit stop at this point, so we would stay out, get ready to go back racing here, and now as the green flag is back out, once again we are on the way from P9, Jimmy Johnson, Ty Dillon, both out of the Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson obviously just won Stage 1. We had pushed him to the Stage 1 victory, and now he finds himself with an early exit to the Daytona 500. That could have easily turned into a pretty big crash, but it really was just a single car crash. Now as we come through turns 1 on the back there of Kyle Busch, as we come through the center of the corner looking to the inside of Stenhouse, and there's Denny Hamlin on the outside of his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate of Kyle Busch. Not a good restart once again for that outside lane as we head down this back straightaway. Elliott on the far inside was actually hung out by himself. And we're going to get very aggressive here as we're going to look up the middle of a 3-wide between Elliott and I believe that's Stenhouse on the outside, being pretty aggressive here in this second stage. Now as we exit turn 4, heading down the front straightaway. So far so good. Now as we side draft the 9 of Elliott just a little bit as we come through into the trial, crossing the line. Elliott hangs on to that position for the moment now as we head down towards turns 1 at this point. We kind of get out of that little battle there, but we're still 3 wide in the middle now as a little bit of contact made with Eric Jones as we come through the center of the corner, and more contact made with Jones and Stenhouse now as we keep it clean, thankfully, now as that could have certainly went wrong very quick. So we settled in behind the 10 of Eric Almirola at this point as we went down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, though, running behind Almirola actually costed us some time on this outside lane. We had fallen down to P18 at this point. Now, as you see Chris Buescher on the inside, and then our other teammate of Quinn Boyer coming through towards that inside lane, as well as we came through now on lap 16, going through the trial. Well, now as we have a spinner just in front of us, Kyle Busch goes crashing behind us now as we head down the front straightaway, and the caution will fly here at Daytona. We would come to pit road because we only had a few laps of fuel in the cars. We will get a quick replay up on the screen to show you what happened to Kyle Busch from a replay angle. As we were going down through the trial there, you just see it looked like he blew a right rear tire, and he just spun right around. Only 2 car lengths or so in front of us, so we got to the inside. Other cars involved, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson even there in the frame, so not good for them. Now as we would get ready to go back green here in the Daytona 500, we are down in P23 on this restart as we are back underway here at Daytona from now 20 laps into this stage, so 8 laps remain here in this second stage in the Daytona 500. On the inside there are the 43 of Bubba Wallace as we go down towards turns 1. So we kind of got lucky there as you see some helmet cam footage, as that's what I was trying to do when actually Kyle Busch wrecked, but we got a little bit lucky that we had an opportunity to drive to the inside. It was open, so I made that move, and thankfully we avoided Kyle Busch, who was certainly close to collecting Eric Almirola and myself, but we got lucky with that one. Now as we go down this back straightaway, Joey Logano on my outside as we go down towards turns 3. Joey Gase actually leading the way at this point. Not what you expect to see, but it's a plate track. Anything can happen. We are very aware of that now as we came out of turn 4 behind Austin Dillon in the number 3 car. Now back inside the top 20 at this point, P18 to be exact, as we come through to cross the line. 7 laps remain here in the second stage of the Daytona 500. We had a second place finish in the opening stage due Jimmy Johnson winning that stage, and we would climb back up inside of the top 10 now as we came to just 2 laps to go here in the second stage, approaching the final lap. Joey Gase continued to lead the way now as we come through the trial, with Denny Hamlin turns in to a draft partner as we connect with his bumper as we head down through on the exit of the trial. We're down the front straightaway. Hamlin looks to the inside of Tyler Reddick as we go down into turns 1 and down towards turns 2 for the final time of the second stage in the Daytona 500. Looking just about to the inside of Hamlin. A little bit of contact made on the left rear, but we keep it clean now as we go down this back straightaway on the inside of another Rookie of the Year contender, Tyler Reddick. As we go down this back straightaway, we're going to give a shot to the back of Hamlin as we go down towards turns 3. Joey Gase continues to lead the way just in front of the 37 car of Chris Buescher as we come through turns 3 and towards turns 4 for the final time here in stage 2. Down the front straightaway, and it's going to be Joey Gase through the trial. He will win stage 2, and we cross the line to get P7 in this second stage of the Daytona 500. So a great effort by Joey Gase, Chris Buescher, Paul Menard, David Reagan, Ryan Blaney round out the top 5. Austin Dillon gets the final stage point, so we would once again come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires. So now we get ready to start the third and final stage, the stage that matters most in the Daytona 500 as we are underway here once again in Daytona. The way this race has gone so far, 38 laps to go, we could probably expect another 2 to 3 cautions, I would expect now, as we go down towards turns 1. Joey Gase leads the way, certainly got some drivers that you don't usually see up here now as we come through turns 1. Blaney going way to the outside, not sure what he was thinking, and I tried to get out of the throttle to let him back in, but he just refused to drop down. So that was a very messy restart from that outside lane. Not very organized today in Daytona on the outside lane in restarts for anybody now as we go down this back straightaway on the outside of the 32 of Corey LaJoie, closing in on the back of Michael McDowell in the number 34 car as we got some drivers going all the way up towards the wall. We're going to try and follow that lane right now as we come through turns 3 and towards the exit of turns 4, heading down this front straightaway. So drifting now outside of the top 10 for a brief moment as we come through this triangle, coming through to complete the first lap of this opening, or this third and final stage here in Daytona. Stanos actually just got into the left side of us as we came through towards turns 1. Now we're 3 wide on the far outside. Stanos being very aggressive, and now we're going to have to try and fall in line behind him there as I gave him a little bit of a side draft. And now as Almirola looks to our inside as well as we go down this back straightaway, and Ryan Blaney also is going to follow through now. So losing some time here in this third stage as we go down. Larson to the inside as well as we go down towards turns 3 behind Ryan Blaney. So we drop down towards P18, P19, and even P20. And as we came to lap 66, there would actually be trouble up ahead, though, with Jamie McMurray having a tire go down, and that would bring out a caution as well. So once again, another driver losing a tire, and it's Jamie McMurray this time. And when drivers lose tires in this game, they actually DNF it seems like. So Jamie McMurray, another driver out of this race as we would once again resume racing here in the Daytona 500. At this point, 31 laps remain, so still plenty of time. It's now down to about the stage 1 length or so. I think stage 1 was 29 laps, so now it's kind of just trying to get back into a just normal stage 1 length mode. Obviously not a lot of time to waste, but we still have a decent amount of time to do stuff there. Has actually gotten into the back of Blaney just a little bit and checked up, and that actually put a good gap between himself and I as we go down this back straightaway. Joey Gase continuing to lead the way. Gase is doing a great job now as we have help from Alex Bowman behind us as we go down towards turn 3. Bowman gives us a big shot to the bumper as we come through turn 3, looking to the inside of the 9 of Chase Elliott as we come through now into turns 4 to the inside of Kurt Busch, making a little bit of contact there. I had so much speed that I was just doing whatever I could to turn the car, and I was actually struggling to now as we came through on lap 71 down the back straightaway behind our Stewart Haas Racing teammate of Kevin Harvick, continuing to follow through now as we came through on lap 75, 26 to go. Now up into P11 as once again we're going to have a little bit of a quick crank it up for you guys. So once again I'll go silent and I'll be back in a moment.
Careful, still there. Still there. Careful, still there. Car high, careful. Still there.
Alright, there was your second crank it up and the final crank it up of today's Daytona 500 as we go through turns 1. Now up inside the top 10, running P9 with Eric Jones on my outside as we have some more helmet cam footage as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway. Kevin Harvick still up in front of us at this point, and as we came through now on lap 79, you see a little bit of a single file train being formed there, and I'd actually moved up trying to see what I could do with Michael McDowell as we came through out of turns 4. Now green flag pit stops actually starting to happen here in Daytona, and we were getting ready to make our first green flag pit stop now as we came through on lap 80, back down to that inside as we came through turn 3. Kevin Harvick getting ready to come into the pit lane, so obviously I'm going to come in as well on the same lap here with Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr., and surprisingly I don't completely choke a pit entry and we get in here pretty safe. I wasn't really paying attention to my pit speed, but thankfully we did not speed now as we come through the pit lane. We're going to put 2 cans of fuel in the car as well as 4 tires, and now we actually get a caution as we're going slowing down the front or the pit lane. So now this completely changes everything as we're going to come into the pit box. I was confused at this point. I was like, do I hit A to advance and make a pit stop under caution, or do I just let it go? And I decided that obviously we're just going to let it go right through here and let the team do the pit stop, and we'll see exactly what happens. So obviously the caution is out. We're going to get a replay on the screen right here in just a moment of what happened as we exit out behind Harvick and Truex. Now as you see the replay on your screen, Austin Dillon was leading the race as drivers were exiting the pit road, and Dillon just slammed into Ryan Newman and cleaned him out and destroyed his own front end, and this would put us in P5 for the restart here late in the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr. on the front row, Keselowski in the third position, and obviously myself here in P5 with 17 laps to go now in the Daytona 500, our first Daytona 500. Can we win in our first Daytona 500? Unlikely to do so, but that would certainly be really cool. Now, the one thing to mention that there is 17 laps to go in this race, and we only have about 15 laps of fuel. So that could get interesting unless we get another caution. But at this point I was thinking that it would probably be smart to actually stay in line behind these drivers now as we go down the back straightaway towards the outside of Keselowski, trying to make a move on him, and we side draft him perfectly. We make a move into second place now as we go down towards turn 3, and now it's Stewart Haas 1-2, Penske 3-4, but now Bubba Wallace gives Logano a big shove through turn 4, so I get up to protect him just a little bit to make sure his momentum gets slowed now as we go down this front straightaway, down in through the travel, sliding down back in front of the 2 of Keselowski. And like I said, I would just kind of ride behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick at this point, making sure that I was in the lead car, because if I felt like if I was the lead car at a plate track, my chances of saving fuel were extremely low. So we came out of turn 2 now on lap 88, still running behind Kevin Harvick at this point as we head down the back straightaway behind us. Ryan Preece runs P3, but we get a caution again, and now we're going to come to the pit lane and get enough fuel in this car. We do not need tires, so I decided obviously we're not going to throw any tires on this car, and we will get ready to restart in P2 alongside Kevin Harvick, so no mistakes from the Ford crew as the green flag is out, and once again we are underway, and this time it leaves us only 10 laps in the Daytona 500. Ryan Preece in the 47 in P3, and behind us we got the 32 of Corey LaJoie as we make the stretch down towards turns 1. Would certainly love to win our first ever Daytona 500 in just our first attempt, and we're going to give Harvick just a little bit of a side draft as we come through the center of the corner, maybe made a little bit of contact on his right rear. Now as we exit turn 2, Stenhouse, shocker there, getting very aggressive on this restart now as we go down the back straightaway side by side at this point with our teammate of Kevin Harvick as we go down towards turn 3. William Byron trying to make some moves up the inside, but now he falls back in line as we go through turn 3, trying to continue to side draft the 4 of Harvick to not let him get clear, because if he gets clear it's not going to be good for us on this outside lane. But unfortunately at a turn 4 Harvick does get clear as we go down this front straightaway here, approaching just 9 laps to go now in the Daytona 500 as we come through the Tribal. Priest takes over P2, and now the 36 of Matt Tifft is coming through on the inside, so we continued to just fall back just a little bit down to P6 at this point as Harvick continued to lead. Priest fell down to P5 as we go down the back straightaway, giving Priest a shot here with 8 laps to go, approaching 7 to go once we come around. Now there's smoke behind us, and that's going to bring out another caution, Michael McDowell this time, and that's going to probably take him out of the race as well. So we would get ready to get right back in the action, no pit stop necessary, and we will be restarting P6 now with just a handful of laps to go in this 50% length Daytona 500, and we are once again underway. Kevin Harvick leading the way as we cross the line. It is exactly 5 laps to go. Matt Tifft joins Harvick on that front row. William Byron P3, the 71 of Ryan Truex in P4. Not a good restart for myself, getting disconnected from Ryan Truex, about a car length or so between himself and I now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, drifting down to P8. Landon Castle in the double zero car looks to my inside as we go down this back straightaway, committed to the back of the 71 as I just can't quite get to that inside at this point as we go down the back straightaway. Certainly looking for whatever opportunity I can to get to the bottom. Now as our Stewart Haas Racing teammate of Clint Boyer comes through on the inside at this point now as we would be able to get to that inside, but at this point there was 2 laps to go in the Daytona 500, running P10, so certainly not in good shape now. Obviously 10th, nothing to be disappointed about, but Ryan Preece was actually leading the race, and Kevin Harvick had lost the lead, drifted down to P2, so it was Ryan Preece leading with a lap and a half to go here in the Daytona 500 as we go down towards towards turn 3, giving Corey LaJoie a shot to the bumper, doing whatever I can, going wherever I can, but it's just nowhere really to go. I don't have the help I need to make some aggressive moves now as we exit turn 4. There up ahead, you see our other teammate of Clint Boyer, and then so we got 3 Stewart-Haas cars in the top 10 as we cross the line to start the final lap. We're going to get aggressive and look to the outside of LaJoie. 3 wide down the front straightaway. On the final lap, we back out of it though to get back down towards the bottom, just in front of the 21 of Paul Menard as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 for the final time here. Harvick now down from second, losing some ground. He follows in behind Clint Boyer, so now it's Keselowski in that second position, putting the pressure on Priest as we go down the back straightaway, passing the 32 of Corey LaJoie. The final lap here in the Daytona 500 is led by the 47 of Ryan Priest as we go through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. Keselowski doesn't look like he has anything for him as we have lots of momentum as we exit turn 4, going up the middle between Tift and our teammate of Harvick, making some 3 wide moves, but it's Ryan Priest who will win the Daytona 500 as we cross the line to finish P6 right behind our teammate of Clint Boyer, as we had a lot of momentum there coming to the line and I had to use whatever I could. But incredible Daytona 500 won by a surprise winner of Ryan Priest, so not what you expect to see, and if he can stay in the top 30 in points, he will be in the playoffs later this season. There you see the finishing order on your screen. Not a good day for Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, McMurray, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Ty Dillon. All DNF from this race. Johnson obviously won the first stage. Joey Gase won stage 2. And we actually lead the points after that. So that really shows how important stage points are. So that's certainly good to know. But Atlanta, I think we can run well at Atlanta, but then after that it's really going to be interesting to see where we go in the points, because I think once we get done with Atlanta, the challenge really begins for us. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe we could get career win number 1 in Atlanta. I'm going to try my best to mess with the settings to make it hard on us at Atlanta, but we have some post-race interviews here. Kyle Busch, after wrecking in Daytona, said everything's great, looking forward to the next one. So typical Kyle Busch fashion. Now as we come through to Jimmy Johnson's post-race, an early exit sucks, but we showed the serious speed today with a stage win. We'll bounce back. So confidence from the 48 team. Ryan Priest says, amazing to win in my first start. Let's hope for many more. It was his first Cup Series start of his career in our career mode, so he wins in his first start. So he's the first rookie to win. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. This was a lot longer than the videos I normally make. Obviously, it was a 50% race special, so obviously it makes sense for it to be longer. But it was certainly a fun one to do and a blast. It would have been awesome if we could have won. I didn't expect to win, so it's just how it goes. We led 2 laps though today in the Daytona 500. I guess that's alright. So I will see you guys though in the next one where we go to Atlanta. Thank you for watching and have a great day, everyone.